Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. You're watching Ustai. Two words about this channel. My name is Ronaldo, I'm a cloud DevOps engineer. Ustai in Albanian means master, and this YouTube channel is going to be my journey on technology. We're going to have a lot of hands-on example on practical use cases, and we're going to have fun. Since we're starting our journey, we need to keep track of all of our work. For that, we're going to need a portfolio. What is a portfolio? A portfolio, it is a case that we insert our projects and videos and our resume. And we're going to have that in a modern way. Basically, it's going to be a web application. Since my main skill is not programming, but I know how that works because I've done a lot of projects on Java and Python, we're going to use a static website, which is iPortfolio from Bootstrap made. The problem with that, it is static. So if we want dynamic content, we cannot get that one. For each update, we would need to modify the HTML script to show the new updates. So what I've done is I've used Python, Flask, to make that dynamic. So let's see how that looks on my local machine. Let's get going on that. So what we have here, iPortfolio from Bootstrap made. We can check a live video of that. The name, information about the person, skills, resume, portfolio, and also we're going to add a new section of videos. We can download that. So what we have here, it is just static content. Fully responsive, and we're going to change that on a dynamic one. Project that I've done, it is right here. So it is a Flask application, and let's see how that looks. My photo, changed output, information about me, the website that I use, skills, summary, and portfolio. Also, there is a video. Also, there is a section of projects where you can just search for keywords and provide you an example of hands-on projects that you can use, or we can go along with that in other videos. Now, our application. As I said, it is by Flask. We have the views, the root directory, and also we have an admin. The admin, it is used only by one person, so basically it's going to be me. This is a page where we can add new portfolios, new projects, and new videos. So we don't go and modify all the time the static page, but we have made that dynamic. If we see the template, for example, the index on Flask, so basically it is a loop where for each object I have specified that on the HTML that is going to render, and we can see that in action. This is our application, and for admin we see that it has a login page, so not everyone can log into my website, but only the person that knows the password. And it has portfolios, videos, and projects. What I have used is on the authentication part, it is that I've used AWS parameter store. So basically I'm saving the password of admin on a parameter store, and only the person who knows that can authenticate successfully. And now we're going to deploy that on AWS Container Service Fargate one. Why is that? Because it is one of the cheapest option over there. Of course there is serverless, but on the later videos we're going to do that on also the refactoring part of the application. But for now we're going just to deploy it on container service. First of all, we're going to build that as an image. Now for the Docker part, I've used a base image of Python 3.12. What we do here is copy the code, we install the requirements, we mark the port 8080 to be exposed, and this application works with AWS, so we need to insert the key ID, secret access key, and default region. And it starts with python main.py. And for that we're going to build that. On the readme file I have the commands. And just to test it, that it works as an image, we're going to run it in our local environment. If we go to page, so it works. And right now we are going to tag this image, send it to ECR on AWS, and from that we're going to work on the AWS console. Here we are on the AWS console. What we're going to do is create a repository for our image. I have already created a user that we're going to push the image. So let's call it iPortfolio. And it is going to be a private one. iPortfolio. Here. Since I've used a profile, we're going to use that one. Login succeeded. Okay, so this was a problem on the access on the user. Basically, I went again on the YAML user and updated it to be available for this repository. So we can try it again. And now it works. Since it is pushed on ACR, we can go and check. The image is right in here. Portfolio. What we need to do is now to go to container service and create a task definition for that. Task definition, create new task definition. Portfolio. AWS Fargate. It's a base Linux. On the CPU and memory, we're going to use the least amount of that, since it is a small application. The execution role, it is the default one, which has access to pull the image from ACR and create it on the cluster. For the container, I'm going to use the name iPortfolio and the image, the one that we just updated, container port 8080. Now we can also add environment variables. Basically what we can do is to provide access to the container. We can do that by task role, but I have not created that yet. And we can also use the environment variables that I've also used on the Docker container. So we can create that one, create two environments, get the access key, secret key. Basically, I'm going to change them, so no need to copy that. And yeah, we can create that one. Is the revision 3, since I've done some revisions before with the same name. Now we can go to cluster and we can create a new cluster. iPortfolio. It's going to be Fargate and create. This takes a minute. Now the cluster is created, iPortfolio, we can go on the task, run new task, launch type, it's going to be Fargate, and we need a task, not a service, because a service would require you a load balancer. So on the task, we specify the family, iPortfolio, the revision is the latest one, number 3. Networking, I've used a VPC, default one. I've selected public subnets. We can create a new security group. Oh yeah, secure group. And we need to allow the port that our container works. So it's going to be 8080. Public IP is turned on because we need to get that from anywhere. And we can create that one. The container is up and running, so we can get its IP address and we can check. It's going to be port 8080 and we can see that it works fine. It's responsive. Let's see the admin one. Yeah, so admin works too. Now what we need to do is to front it. So basically we need to also add HTTPS on that, and to do that we can use API Gateway. API Gateway, we can integrate that with a certificate manager. We can set up a SSL certificate in front and also route that using Route 53. Since I do own the ustai.net domain, we can use this one for our portfolio. So let's get going with the API Gateway. On the AWS console, we can go API Gateway. Create API. We can use HTTP API since it is just a simple application, HTTP backend. So build. API name is going to be iPortfolio. Next, 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 and create. Now we need to proxy every method on whatever path to our website. To do that, we can use proxy plus on any. And now we need to add the integration. The integration is going to be an HTTP URI on any and the API of our website with proxy in the end. We can test it. So basically the default version is deployed already. This is the new URL and this is our website. I do not like this URL, so let's go and change it to ustai.net. To do so, we need a certificate and then we can route it using Route 53. So we can go to Certificate Manager, request new certificate. It's going to be a public domain name ustai.net. We're going to use DNS validation since I do have this domain on Route 53. Request. Let's wait a little bit for the certificate to get approved. Now we can create a route in Route 53. We can just create DNS record and create a record. What it does, it automatically signs the certificate and send it to status valid. So go back. It needs some minutes. Yeah, so it is issued. Now we can use this certificate. We go back on the API Gateway. On the custom domain names, we create new ustai.net. TLS 1.2 and we can select the ACM certificate. It's going to be ustai.net and create domain name. So the domain is created. We can specify the API mappings, so it's going to be iPortfolio of us. We're going to select the default stage that we just released, and we're not going to select any path. since we specified this domain, we need to go to root 53 and set a record for this domain to the endpoint of our API gateway. So we can go to hosted zone on ustai.net, we can create a record, specify nothing on the subdomain, alias, API gateway, the region it is Frankfurt, so EU Central 1, and the API is going to be the one that's shown. If you don't know which API it is, just see the first characters and the one that you have just created is going to be the same. So simple routing and create a record. And let's try it. So here is our website. It is using SSL, which is secure, verified by Amazon, and it is using our domain name, ustai.net. We can check information about ourselves. It is responsive, the skills, the resume of mine, portfolio. Later on, the video that you are watching is going to be on the portfolio, and also it's going to be on the video section right here. If you want to see a project of S3, we can do so. Simple S3 website. Now, since our website is up and running, let's see other components that you might not know how this website works. So first of all, it's going to be the password, my password that I've used for admin. So if you go to parameter store, system manager, on the parameter store, we can see a parameter that it is created just to hold the password for admin. So I can do it password because everyone can do it. You can do it also. And value is bossy. So if we go to the admin, and bossy, welcome bossy, because I am a boss, you're a boss. Other aspects of the application, it has a value for last video ID, which keep tracks on the videos, and later on it does a sort and displays the videos. If we go to the S3 bucket, we have already created an S3 bucket to store all of our information, such as images for portfolio and profile. So all the images that we use on our website are stored on S3 and they get pulled, and also the files. So the personal.json, we can go and open it. What we see here, it's all the information that we already seen on the website itself. So if we go here, all the information that we have in here, it is displayed on the website. It has personal information, portfolios, projects and videos. So if we go and see the projects, open it, it has a list of all the projects that we can do. So in case we go to the admin and we had new projects, let's say portfolio, this is a project to run a portfolio website. Basically we can add filters. What filters are keywords for this kind of projects. So what we have used, it is ACS, ACR, Docker, Python and Flask. And key inputs, it is subscribe for more. We submit that, project item added successfully. Now if we go back on the project and see ACR. It is just updated. Projects, open it. I don't know why the key points is not added there, but I will fix that one. Maybe it does not want the dash in front, but who knows. And it has the portfolio and filters. The same that it showed in here, just the key points is not showing. Flask. So, yeah, it's the same project, since it has the same term. So maybe it does not want you to subscribe me, but who knows. Since our application is up and running, I believe we completed everything that we can for the moment. Of course, we need to optimize a lot of things, such as CI/CD pipelines. We need to make deployment using infrastructure as code, so we don't do all these manual steps. We need to integrate security on our website. The one that you saw, it was a plain text password on parameter store, so we can use encrypted hash for that, such as MD5, and we will do a lot of more on that. So if you are new on the technology, I hope you learned something. If you are a senior, please write a feedback. So like and subscribe, and see you soon.